Let's talk about perception is reality. And I see this as a big issue. That's just because it is very central to your career growth if you must grow at a reasonable pace. Not fast, not slow, at a reasonable pace. You must be able to demonstrate that you can be seen and the effect that you have on your organization is clear and beyond doubt. And I've seen this as very strange. Sometimes a lot of people consider it as out of character because they are not used to being seen, they are not used to being heard, they are not used to being put where the spotlight is. Now, if you must grow at a responsible rate in your career, you must begin to think visibility. And visibility is a very, very simple term, which basically means that you're seen, you're heard, and your impact is undeniable. That is it. So there are a couple of things I want you to think about. Whether you agree or not, you are a brand, whether you agree or not, and you are selling your services to your organization in the bid to solve important problems. It is because there's a problem to be solved. That is why you've been brought on board. Now you must be seen to solve that problem. Can you see how easy this term is? You just need to be seen, because if nobody can really see you solving those problems or cannot really see your impact, then what justifies the fact that you need to remain in that role, or the fact that you need some reasonable progression in your career? Can you see? Now, a couple of things that I'm thinking about that I want you to also think about. Number one, you need to change your mindset. Visibility is not a bad thing. Visibility is a requirement for you to be successful in your role, irrespective of your organization. Visibility, even outside of work, visibility is important because it is almost tantamount to just walking away and just sort of maybe wasting your time if you're doing bits and pieces of work that nobody is seeing you really. So you are a brand, and I want you to change your mindset into visibility is not a bad thing. It is important. People need to see you, and they need to see the impact of the work that you're doing. Okay. So a couple of things that I need you to continue to think about other than mindset is the fact that do not let anybody take credit for your work, because the easiest way for you to be seen, to be making impact, is for the bits and pieces that you're doing in your organization to be seen, to be done by you. Now, usually, it's just how humans are wired. And it is basically the recallability bias, which is basically people make decisions based on what they can easily recall. So if you do a piece of work and you're allowing another person communicate that piece of work or give update on that piece of work, whoever is making decisions, your leaders, your higher ups, will pretty much think that the person who is communicating the updates of the work to them did the work. So that's the person they see. That's the person they see in front of all the work. That's the person they're going to attribute the credit of the work to. So to not allow anybody to take credit for your work. So if you do a piece of work, feel free, feel empowered to ask that you are the one discussing those bits and pieces of work that you're doing. Okay. Number two is do not leave your leaders or your bosses in pitch darkness. Continue to communicate your bits and pieces to them. Give updates like your career depends on it. Okay, so you can say something like, oh, just to give you an update, or just give you an update. You can send it through emails, you can send it through office chats, you can meet with them in person, you can put in a remote call. Just make sure that every single progress you're making on your work, you're discussing it. And don't say, because I know you could be saying, oh, this progress I made is just a small progress. Like, we had 10 things we needed to do, I've just done one. Why do I need to talk about the one? You could say, oh, by the way, I feel pumped, I feel stoked, I've done 1 out of 10, and I feel like although it's a small win, I just feel like we're not at 10 anymore, we're 9 now to go. I just felt like calling it out. How you see, a reasonable person will be like, oh, well done, let's sort of keep pushing. So keep talking about your work and feed your stakeholders with your progress. There will always be stretch opportunities, but opportunities that will advance your career and give you the visibility that you need are not going to be necessarily simple opportunities. They may come through as very complex tasks. They may come through as complex projects. They may come through as very large projects. That may sort of put you on a pedestal. So you must be ready to take on those projects and give yourself a chance. Okay, so if you're doing the little things, this is how I think about it really. Your bosses don't really care about the small things that you can do and sort of be the last person who calls the shot on those things. They don't really care about those things, but they care about very significant things that other stakeholders care about, and you must strategically position yourself to be doing those things that they consistently ask about. So if there is a project that the shareholders are interested in, your investors are interested in, there's a part of a project that you're interested in, that's where you should position yourself in and put in your strength to and make sure it gets done and be the one giving the updates on those areas of your work. Now, another thing that can give you very fantastic visibility is to volunteer to do things outside of work but within your organization. So what do I mean? Like if there are like social gatherings, social events and all of that, and you find it interesting to organize some of those events or be part of your social committees and all of that, that is usually a fantastic opportunity for you to be in front of everybody. Because when it comes to social stuff, everybody is sort of more relaxed and they can see, it's easy for you to demonstrate your leadership skills and ability if you can lead others within your organization to give everybody that one pleasant work environment that everybody wants to have. So those are the kind of opportunities you will sort of see that you want to take advantage of. So volunteer to do a bit of checking out venues, organizing a small evening or night out for your team and all of that. Those basically will put you in front of your leaders as someone who is interested in the business. Okay. Another point that I want you to sort of think about is own very specialized skills that not every single one of your peers would typically have. So you just identify it and say, what skill is there that nobody else on my team has? And can I learn it? Can I do it? It may be the use of a specialized data tool. It may be going for an exam that nobody is writing, or everybody considers very tough, that qualifies you, that qualifies you even more for the work that you do. I mean, it could be anything, right? It could be you going on a secondment opportunity to learn another aspect of the value chain of your organization, and then you come back and then use that to impact your organization or your team. So it could be anything. So you must just sit down, stay back and think about, what is that thing that I can do right now? Or that skill I can learn right now, nobody's learning it, nobody's doing it. It could be AI, it could be anything that nobody is sort of focusing on my team right now that I could then bring back and then be the one who teaches others, be the one who shows others how it is done and all of that. So think about that. It's going to sort of really help you. Another point I've got here is expand your network with very visible people. So don't just make friends with people. I mean, make friends, be one to everybody, but be very, very strategic about the people you bring into your network as a career professional, especially at work. If there are people who have the clout, who are influencers, who are decision makers, those are your first beats, and those are your first guys to bring into your network, to associate with, to be friends with, to sort of, work with them, be their friends, be the one they're calling to quickly help them get through some bits and pieces. Just be in the center of how it is happening and where it is happening. Their visibility will shine through to you because they have access to some rooms you don't have access to, and by their access you also sort of have access indirectly. So be their friends, associate with them, and make sure they are in your network. Okay. Another thing I want to think about is this: when others are doing well, support them, celebrate your team members. Even when others are struggling, be the one who is saying, oh, how can I help? How can I help? And that does not mean you load your back until you don't have strength to do anything anymore. But this is just basically you being seen as someone who is helpful and also seen as someone who celebrates others when they're doing well. Okay. The last thing I'm going to talk about is your communication skill. I personally believe that the best skill any professional can have is a very fantastic and excellent communication skill, because every bit and pieces that we do still all aligns with how we communicate, right? So you want to go and learn how to communicate properly, how to communicate a problem, how to communicate a solution, how to resolve very tricky situation, how to have dicey conversations. You want to how to have tough conversations with your team. You want to go and have all of those conversations. You want to learn how to do all of those things, and you don't want a situation where people that you work with don't understand you. They don't understand how you make your decisions. They don't understand how you come to your conclusions. They don't even understand it when you document your bits and pieces of work. You want to elevate your communication skill, and that is just going to give you the visibility that you need if people feel like they can understand you and they can understand the work that you've done. So perception is reality. If people perceive you, and your perception precedes you. So if you want to have that fantastic reputation, you want people to see you as that person who is smashing it, who's doing well, who is coming in to save almost everybody, who is the champion and all of that. You must think about how you're being perceived. You must think about your visibility at work, and you must take action to make sure that you're put in front of those who matter and those who make the decisions. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.